welcome to the BoshNRoll channel. If you want to support my daily Eternal Magic offerings while getting amazing perks like the BoshNRoll Discord community, have me play your deck on the channel, or listen sideboard guides before tournaments, check out the Patreon or YouTube membership program. This channel is possible because of these amazing sponsors. Check them out, all their links are in the video description. As always, thanks for being here. Let's go play some Magic.
Welcome back to the BoshNRoll channel. Today I'm playing Legacy at the request of Patreon subscriber Niles, and this is his take on Esper Control. I am recording this on March 24th, which unfortunately will place it in that awkward window where I will be playing in the pre-ban and restricted update Legacy, and things may be different by the time this is released. I cleared it with Niles. He says he doesn't care, and that's great. Shout out Niles for being a team player. Basically what we got here is Niles likes play control, likes brewing and tuning. He sent me a long document that I did read that has a bunch of reasoning for the problems that he expects in the format and how he has tried to address them. And basically this deck is different than Esper Tempo in that there's no days, no Nethergoyf. We're not that low to the ground. We are actually trying to hit 3 or 4 or beyond land drops in a game. There are 4 copies of Lorien revealed, indicating that this is a plan to cast this card sometimes. There's not like one of them just because we need a blue card, sometimes we need a land that a lot of decks are playing. There's 4. This is a commitment. We've got 3 Barrowgoyfs. This is the premier threat in the deck. The 4th one's even in the sideboard. Going heavy on Big Barrow. Wide open answers once we get into that turn 3 range. 3 copies of actual counterspell plus Drown in the Loch. These cards are not good in a turn 1, turn 2, turn 0 metagame, but they're very good if you could get the game into a spot where you just are doing some stuff and counterspells up. There's no sweepers in this deck, no Supreme Verdicts type of thing, no Terminus. That's a acknowledgement that the format is kind of too fast for those sort of things, while also still trying to be a bigger deck. I think I would probably, if we're being honest, call this a mid-range deck, not a control deck, but the lines blur at some point. When we're in a format that basically all games are decided by turn 2, trying to play 3 or 4 turns of Magic is a control deck. We can call it that for today. This deck's full of cards I like. It is well reasoned for the metagame. 2 main deck Cling to Dust, a lot of respect there. A big boat of Barrowgoyfs in the main also has some respect for Red Stompy and Eldrazi. I mean, Sowing Mycospawn's still going to cook us, but we can actually beat like a Thought-Knot Seer kind of thing, or Broadside Bombardiers. We've got basic lands in the deck to fetch for. I'm into it. Let's just go see how this goes in, hopefully, one of the last leagues I play in this format as it currently exists. I'm on the draw in round 1. I have to mulligan this. There are only 17 actual land dash card type cards in the deck. The 4 Lorien reveal, it's doing a lot of lifting there. I will mulligan that. Okay, big boat of lands here. And there is like a little bit of a gamble, but I think it is well reasoned playing 17 lands in a control deck. I'm going to bottom Flooded Strand. Playing 17 lands with 4 Lorien reveals gives you a lot of blue cards for force and a lot of hits for hitting land drops. And then you're also unlikely to flood out, or you're unlikely to get screwed or flood out. Like, it does kind of go in the middle, but you are in medium danger of not being able to keep hands early on. Well, we're playing against Eldrazi in round 1, so here we friggin' go. Barrowgoyf is a card I'm interested in. I already have a Prismatic Ending. Tamiyo probably sucks. I'm just going to shuffle this. The Force of Will's already off too. It's basically Barrowgoyf or bust here. I did not mind hanging that Underground Sea out in front of Wasteland because I have 4 lands still in my hand here. Whatever. All right, there we go. Bought time, found the Barrow Boy. If I can resolve Barrowgoyf with Force backup to protect it, although Force is not a reliable interaction spell versus Devourer of Destiny, but it does work versus things like Dismember and Kozilek's Command. I have Prismatic Ending, so I'm going to let this happen. And then I'm going to fetch Meticulous Archive. I don't have to play on basics here. It's just available if I want it. Drown in the Loch could kill a creature. I just don't think it's going to, because it's the owner's graveyard, or controller's graveyard, not mine. Yeah, that's not going to do what I want. It's just incredible how quickly irrelevant all of the cards in a deck like this would become when you're against a Cavern of Souls deck that also plays naturally uncounterable spells. Okay, we are going to get Barrowgoyf in before sowing Myco Spawn. Now I have a real choice to make. Forcing this means I think I'm actually going to let this resolve, because fighting over the Kozilek's command or the Dismember that's going to kill my Barrowgoyf actually seems more important than fighting over Chalice right now. Even though Chalice, it does suck a lot that it's in play. They've had a very slow start, which is the only reason I'm even kind of playing this game right now. Kozilek's command. Alright, make a dope and scry. This feels desperate. Or maybe they just have another one. Countering this does put a Kindred spell in the graveyard. I think I am going to counter this. This Ponder's just not doing anything anyway. This makes Barrowgoyf bigger. And this might be a chance where Barrowgoyf gets a big chunk. And maybe it finds another Barrowgoyf off the trigger. Yes, and whiffed entirely, losing my Wandering Emperor. Perfect. Okay, but Barrowgoyf is 5/6 now. And they missed a land drop last turn. God, City of Traders is the worst outcome. I was just going to say, if they play a soul land into Kozilek's command right now, I am probably dead. Okay, Myco Spawn isn't that bad here. It is going to make next turn into a big problem. I have Ugin. Future problems. Do we have the double Myco Spawn? Or is this Thought-Knot Seer? What do we got? Spawn into Spawn. Yeah, let's go. Let's have a party. Gaia's Cradle. That's good for 4 mana right now. You got a third Sowing Myco Spawn. Right, I think there's only one Surveillant in the deck. Just going to remind myself. Correct, I've already fetched it. I will go to my turn. Force of Will. A whole handful of useless cards, and because there's 2 Myco Spawns, I can't even get a good Barrowgoyf trade here. I guess I just pass and eventually lose to Eye of Ugin then. Thought-Knot Seer. Well, I mean, Force of Will's not doing anything else. They didn't tap their caverns to do that, but that probably just means there's a better Eldrazi in their hand. I am now big enough to beat the Sowing Myco Spawns in combat. Oh yeah, rub it in. Rub it in. I hope, my sincere hope right now, obviously, like, I am enraged and having no fun at all in this moment, and this sucks, and I kind of hate having to queue into Legacy day in and day out for my job. If I didn't have to do this, I wouldn't. That's how I feel right now. I hope that when we are viewing this in the future, when it releases, the story is more like, ha ha ha, remember when this bullshit could happen? And not like, yeah, they didn't do anything. Wizards of the Coast, for fuck's sake, it's time. I could trade my Barrowgoyf for all 3 Myco Spawns, but I'm really not doing anything at that point. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I guess if I did that, Gaia's Cradle would be off. Alright. You got a Thought-Knot Seer. Take that Thoughtseize, enjoy it. I wasn't using it. Now they could leave 2 creatures in play instead of 0 if they want to trade off with Barrowgoyf. Yeah, I think I actually just have to attack. I think I should have attacked last turn. I was too busy pontificating about how rancid this play pattern is and how miserable Legacy is right now. I will say, if you do have Legacy tournaments, and again, I hope this is all just ha ha ha, how quaint by the time this is relevant, but if there are Legacy tournaments that you have to play in, there are several viable decks here. It's not like it's a 1-deck format and you can't have options. I'm just saying that trying to do anything interesting, trying to do anything other than the top 5 best decks right now is not an option because of Sowing Myco Spawn. And they just had a tutor. They could tutor any card in their whole deck, and they tutored the 4th Sowing Myco Spawn. There's no, like, Devourer of Destiny. There's no, I don't know, Fleshraker that kills me faster. There's no, like, Ulamog. Like, that's the Sowing Myco Spawn, despite having already cast 3 of them. The 4th one is what makes this game good for them. Okay, I just want to check if there's anything I can do. I've milled over my Wandering Emperor. I'm about to lose another land, going down to 1, and they'll probably park a Wasteland and play 2 just in case. Yeah, I can't cast Barrowgoyf even if I draw it. Yeah, okay. Woo! All right. Consign of Memory comes in. Exercise exiles an artifact, enchantment, or creature with power 4 or greater. That can hit things like Thought-Knot. The Barrowgoyf, of course, comes in. These other cards don't matter. Activate abilities of artifacts and creatures can't be activated unless they're mana abilities. Damping Matrix is mostly for Nadu. Wrath of the Skies could clean up some number of Chalice of the Voids and Eldrazi spawn tokens, but I found that this card is not effective versus Eldrazi in my time where they are both legal in the format. Niles also provided me with a sideboard guide, a sideboard map that he uses, which I think is really interesting. And he's bringing in Force of Negation and Lavinia here. And I guess these, if the plan is to resolve Barrowgoyf and not get it exiled by Kozilek's command, that makes some sense. I'm going to try this for science. It is not what I would do. I would have stopped at Exercise Barrowgoyf, Consign. But there are also cards that just aren't really good, like Cling to Dust. The counter spells, I don't have any Wastelands or removal for... There's no Harbinger of the Sea kind of thing. Like Cavern of Souls just turns off counterspell completely. I can see the appeal of cutting it. I will keep my hand. I have 3 lands in Barrowgoyf, which is the only thing that resembles a plan here. Devourer confirmed exists in the deck. Not that we had a lot of doubts about that. They exiled a Chalice and 2 Ancient Tombs and played Wastes. Okay. I think I am going to get the Meticulous Archive. Like, I know Wasteland exists. There's not a lot I can do about it. I will keep Tamiyo, actually. Let's play some Magic. Tamiyo gives me something to do. I can at least get my 3rd land if they Wasteland, just cycle Lorien, and then we're in top deck mode looking for this Barrowgoyf. Okay, I will cycle Lorien, and I think I just lean in here and get Tundra. If they could have wasted me, they would have by now. Okay, I have Force Blue card for the Barrowgoyf. If this plan has any legs, we're about to see it. Okay, Barrowgoyf, the 4 of, Force Blue card available. I can kill their next 2 things they play. Fingers crossed. The Cavern of Souls, always sandbagged as the last land. No surprise there. Swords to Plowshares does represent a 3rd card type if they play a Myco Spawn here. And if they play Myco Spawn and they just skip Wasteland and get another Eldrazi Temple, then Devourer of Destiny works next turn. Yeah, Ayavugan, same shit. Cool. We're so dead. I did everything I was supposed to do here, and there's just no chance. If there's a chance, Consign to Memory is it. Maybe I should get out of my rage hole and try to play the game. Okay, here we go. Barrowgoyf hits. Mills hits Lavinia. Lavinia only turns off non-creature spells, which means that this big idiot still works, which means I have to pass with the intention of consigning the Exile Barrowgoyf trigger, and then I exercise the Devourer, but they have the Bounce Buddy instead. And this is, like, similarly awful because I could counter that and push, but we know they have an actual permanent answer to Barrowgoyf, just waiting in the wings. And there's a Thought-Knot Seer. This can be countered. I guess I'm going to draw with a clue and then make a decision. All right, I'm going to force this pitching Tamiyo. They had to use Cavern to get blue mana to bounce my Barrowgoyf. Lotus Petal after all that. And we could still cast a 5-drop here. Nice. All right. Cool, cool, cool. I'm going to lose Consign to Memory, and then I'm going to lose the game. That's how this goes. They could even take Exercise and then just not worry about Consign to Memory because they're winning on board. Or just take Barrowgoyf, right? Yep. That option also exists. Okay, Exercise, the Thought-Knot Seer. This draws a card. If I hit a land, I could flip Tamiyo this turn. Another Force of Will. Make a construct, or a clue. I wish I had a construct. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, I don't need a Prismatic Ending, their 9th mana source. A bunch of mana in the pool. This can exile Tamiyo. Might as well cast my spell. Okay, Barrowgoyf's still my best draw. I'll still take one. Not going to complain. Forest, they're down to 1 card in hand, but they do have Ayavugan and plenty of mana to activate it. I guess they're a little short of activating it, aren't they? Because they don't get the Eldrazi boost. Okay, so they can't quite activate it. Do I put this Lavinia into play? That turns off Lotus Petals, and they can't just elbow tap out for a Kozilek's command if they draw it. I think Tamiyo is better at absorbing 2 damage off of Wastegate Battle Mage here than it is at making a clue. I don't think that clue matters. 6/6 coming in. You know, after the uncounterable removal spell and fixing their draw, they also get a 6/6. Right, blue mana in the pool off of Cavern of Souls. Wastegate Battle Mage. Bouncing Lavinia. Okay. Okay, Kozilek's command. Well, I'm obviously going to counter this. And do I lose Drown on the Lock or Lavinia? I still feel like Lavinia is somehow a more useful card, even though it's mostly not a useful card. Lorien Revealed, cycle that, get another Underground Sea. I was not hitting the land drop raw, which is what I would have liked to do. I just realized what I said. Okay, ignore that. I'm going to pass the turn. Their next mana can activate Ayavugan. I just have to hope that maybe we fade a draw here. Orcish Bowmaster can pick off one of these battle mages. Just trying to reduce material here. I don't need to keep Bowmaster around because my opponent's deck doesn't really draw cards unless they play the One Ring, which Bowmaster is not going to overcome at 7 life, or at 20 life. I said 7 because my brain registered this as their 7th mana. Now all those turns ago of could have exiled Lotus Petal seem like they might matter. I'm going to attack with Tamiyo and draw a card. Another Tamiyo. Making Tamiyo just doesn't matter. Making Lavinia just doesn't matter. Nothing matters. Okay. Swords of Plowshare might matter. They can't tutor Kozilek's command with Ayavugan, so having the Lavinia specifically here doesn't matter. They're just going to get a Sowing Mycospawn and reduce me to 2 mana to play this game with. And I will Rage Quit. GG's, opponent. It's not your fault that the deck you play is bullshit. Boy, am I glad they banned a bunch of stuff out of this. Please hold up, please hold up, please hold up, please hold up. Please age well. The BoshNRoll channel is brought to you by Tales of Adventure. TOAMagic.com has almost 100,000 unique cards in stock. They offer free track shipping on every order, plus next day or 2-day options when you have an event coming up fast. They offer on-site pickup at major Magic events throughout the US, so you're never scrambling before your tournament. Stop by their booth to buy, sell, or trade at upcoming regional championships, Magic Con, Spotlight Series, and more. I love their selection of individually scanned high-end cards that show you exactly what you're buying. And the best part is saving 5% on every order with promo code BOSH. From Ancestral Recall to Zombie Master, get what you need quickly and in one place at TOAMagic.com. Eternal lives here. I'm on the play in round 2. I have 1 land with Lorien Revealed and Ponder. This is enough. I'll keep it. Opponent kept 7 cards. I'm going to pass. I'm going to use Lorien Revealed and hold up Clinging to Dust rather than ponder blindly into the void here. If I cycle Lorien and then draw a land, then I just don't need to ponder into lands. And you won't be able... You can't Lorien into spells. You can ponder into non-lands. I'm going to use the one with deeper restrictions first. Mystery Forest, Basic Forest. Ugh. Mox Diamond. Don't love that. Riftstone Portal, let's go. Exploration, I'm getting cooked. I do have Prismatic Ending, and I do play basic lands in my deck. Okay, end of turn. I think I have to get basic planes here. I really don't want to do that, but I feel like I'm priced into it. Then I'll cycle Lorien for basic island. This Clinging to Dust is likely to be useful eventually. Taking a loam or breaking up a waste lock or something. Island, Ponder, Barrowgoyf Counterspell, Orcish Bowmasters. None of these cards are castable. I will shuffle. Found a Tundra. I'm going to end the Mox Diamond because Clinging to Dust could break up Loam, which is how they would keep making land drops, versus exiling the Exploration. That's my wisdom there. Of course, that requires me to have a black source. Fingers crossed. Playing scared of Wasteland here. I do have Plow if they just go Stage Depths here. Stage Caracas. Okay. Halfway there. Crop rotation. That resolves. The smart thing would be to get Urza Saga. The baller thing would be to get Dark Depths. I don't think I can beat Urza Saga with this deck. Okay, here we go. Went for the Depths. I will pass my turn. And they did not make the Dark Depths. That's why I would get Urza Saga here. Blast Zone, whatever. Okay, big moment here to hit a land or not. Brainstorm could be a land. Come on, deck. Don't fail me now. We did it. Hit a bunch of lands. And an extra plow. This Force of Will is both not good in the matchup and I don't have a blue card. I think I'm going to stack the Underground Sea on top here, and I'll play out the scrub land. Now I can clean to dust if I need to. They said in the chat they got to know after the match if I had the swords. Well, luckily I record all my matches, and you can see that I had the swords the whole time. At the end of their turn, I'm going to cling their Riftstone Portal. That turns off some amount of their mana, and I think if they had a Life from the Loam, it would have been cast by now. And I am already at the point where I can escape cling once. And because I have Wandering Emperor, I'm not going to play Barrowgoyf. I can play at flash speed here, which leaves open Cling to Dust, where playing Barrowgoyf would make that a lot worse. End of turn, the Wandering Emperor. Gotta start dealing damage somehow, because I'm going to have to beat an opponent at 39 life when I eventually plow this Merit Lage. In for 2. Make another Samurai, and I guess now I'll play Barrowgoyf. I have Force Blue card, double plow. Let's force the issue on this Dark Depths, and then move on with our lives. Oh, you've got a plow. It's a good place for a Force of Will, actually. Like we established last game, Barrowgoyf and Protected is kind of the whole plan here. Alright, they're going for it. I do, of course, have it. We know that. Opponent knows that now. Get him out. Right now, if my opponent plays Life from the Loam and redeploys their combo, that would be a little annoying. But I do have a second plow, and Cling to Dust can break it up the second time around. Stage Wasteland. They could copy Wasteland. They could. There is a trick where you can copy Blast Zone to kill tokens. Blast Zone comes in with 1 counter, so you usually can't clear out a token army. But Blast Zone copied does not do that. All right, +1 counter on Barrowgoyf. Let's get this damage in. They could put Blast Zone up to 3 or 4. Barrowgoyf flipped nothing. There are creatures in this deck, I promise. I'm going to play Tamiyo and give them something that they could blast for 1. So I now have a 0, a 1, a 3, and a 4 worth blast zoning. Something's happening here. Going up to 3, sure. We knew that was possible. Ancient Tomb, that'll help me get through these 29 life points, and dumping out Boseiju, sure. We are now just face up against the top of their deck. And I'm going to end step Cling to Dust the Dark Depths that's in the graveyard. That'll make Loam a lot worse. Got a graveyard full of stuff here to eat. Won't miss it. Okay, end of turn. Exile a bunch of instants and sorceries. No card types have changed. Barrowgoyf is still the same size. Tamiyo's back in my hand. Orcish Bowmasters, that's a threat. Okay, I can't draw any extra cards right now. I'm going to attack first because I imagine activating Blast Zone is the plan this turn. Okay, so they are copying Blast Zone to make a 0. It's good to know. And then they're blasting for 3. Sure. Opponent goes to 23, and I will replay Tamiyo. This is at least taxing the Caracas to be used. And I could Bowmaster now, and that lets me keep the Wandering Emperors. I'm actually just going to plus on a Samurai. It was smart of them to wait till combat to copy their Blast Zone. Probably, or no, they would have needed to use Blast Zone by then. Yeah, that was the best timing available for the Blast Zone. Okay, I'm going to end step Bowmaster to keep some pressure up here. My Orc army will die, but my Bowmaster will at least be a 2/2, dealing damage. And I don't lose a turn of Wandering Emperor activation. +1 counter on Bowmaster. I lose 3 permanents this turn, then we got to rebuild. The rarely seen, but cool to exist Blast Zone for 0 has happened. And keep playing Tamiyo. Keep beating my head against this wall. Cling to Dust still in my graveyard. It's there. Tabernacle. That's a little annoying, but I have mana. I'm not hurting for mana. It is annoying they can make me pay for Tamiyo and then bounce it, but whatever. If I ever draw a Brainstorm or a Lorien Revealed to go with this Tamiyo, we're in Flipadelphia. I could Cling right now, take out that Wasteland. I think I am going to do that. Alright, I'll Cling this. They'll bounce Tamiyo in response. They didn't bounce Tamiyo yet. That's 1 draw this turn, and I still have a draw step. Okay, there it is. Swords to Plowshares. I am going to start going wide again. I can afford it. And fetch, get Tundra, replay that Tamiyo. So, all right, maybe I speed that off. With the Tabernacle and the Caracas, we're both being taxed mana for Tamiyo to be in play, and I'm not really interested in that. My creatures are still alive. That's a real creature. Okay. I think I want to buff my Bowmaster again, because I don't need to go that wide into the Tabernacle here and reduce my options. Big Barrowgoyf back in. Soul Guide Lantern. Okay. Does that change Barrowgoyf? Yeah, my opponent doesn't have any creatures in their graveyard. They do have an instant. They don't have a sorcery. They have instant land. And if they pop this, there will be artifact. So, oh, cool. They just decided to draw a card. That grows Bowmaster and Barrowgoyf. Guess they got to do what they got to do. We got the GG. Okay, cool. Swords to Plowshares, lining up well. Artifacts and creatures. Unfortunately, this doesn't say lands on it. Where's Sabo's Web when you need it? They exile an artifact, enchantment, or creature with power 4 or greater. This looks good enough against the deck. They'd have to main phase Merit Lage for me to get paid there, which I don't think is going to happen, but Urza Saga, Mox Diamond, Exploration, there's hits. Force of Negation, I think, is actually good because it counters Life from the Loam. Barrowgoyf gets the game 1. I'm interested in these 6 cards. What does Consigned to Memory do in this matchup? It could counter a chapter on Urza Saga. You can counter the trigger that makes Merit Lage, but then it will just trigger again. The sacrifice is not... The land is not sacrificed until the trigger resolves, at which points the land is sacrificed and Merit Lage is made at the same time. So if they do Thespian Stage, copy Dark Depths, have a Dark Depths, no counters, it triggers, you counter it, the stack will clear, and it'll just trigger again. That's a game state trigger. Don't fall for that. 8 cards that are less good. Drown on the Lock for sure. Tamiyo was kind of rough versus Caracas, but if they didn't have Caracas, she's pretty good. Maybe I'll leave it in. Bowmaster's insanely mid. And I could see Spell Pierce and Counterspell both being bad. They don't have a lot of spells in their deck. I actually think Force of Will is worse than Counterspell. Is Force of Will worse than Tamiyo? It might be. I'm going to make that change because I'm going... I still have 4 forces in my deck and now 2 of them are better. Makes sense to me. We saw how that game went. It dragged well into turn 8, 9, 10, whatever turn that was. It was really late. Opponent was at 40 life at one point. Counterspell clipping, like a mid-game crop rotation could be great. Even Counterspell on Life from the Loam, which buys me a turn and a priority pass to... I think I'm going to counter this. Buys me a turn and a priority pass to Cling It to Dust. Like, that's something that's worth doing in a mid-game. I wish that was Force of Will and not Force of Negation I just used, because obviously Force of Negation has that huge upside versus Life from the Loam. But I am happy that I slowed down their nonsense. I am going to get Basic Island here. Though if they Wasteland me, then they're not activating Urza Saga. I think I'm actually going to get Meticulous Archive, talk myself into it. Archive, Wandering Emperor. I think that card's fine. I can cycle it away if it's not. I definitely don't want to bin it. Right now I'm looking for Wrath of the Skies. That's the alpha and omega of my game plan. Maze of Ith, which does make mana because of Yavimaya. They figured it out. They did the math. Okay, drawing for turn. My opponent is about to put land and enchantment into the graveyard, so I'm going to just spam Barrowgoyf. This thing will be big enough to tangle with a construct. They're showing me 3/3 on the construct right now. And they could tutor Soul Guide Lantern to make Barrowgoyf slightly smaller. Could exile their own saga. Right, we are committing to constructs over there. Goyf is 4/5. They actually need to exile their own saga if they want their constructs to beat my Goyf. They went after my sorcery instead. Urza Saga is in. An artifact from hand would be really good for them here. Pithing Needle, sure. If they just name Wandering Emperor because they saw it game 1, that'll be really disappointing. But that's what Brainstorm is for. It's a very Time Reveler. Okay, that's a good name, though it is not what I have. I am not going to block. I am going to attack because I have Wandering Emperor that can give +1/+1 first strike. And if this thing isn't blocking, it has no business not attacking. You activated my trap card. I'll put a +1 counter on Barrowgoyf. That's what the card do, Yugi. Okay, first strike. I actually would have won that combat no matter how big the Barrowgoyf was because it has Death Touch first strike. That's one of those insane multipliers on common mechanics. A Saga's ticking up. They do have a Mazavith. If they hit another land here, then Barrowgoyf is just on permanent blocking duty. This Mox Diamond lets them clear Wandering Emperor. That was a good draw. If they had that any other time before now, it would have been in play already. I can play and flip Tamiyo all at once here, and then have the Barrowgoyf wall. Goyf is 5/6 now. Planeswalker in the bin. I am going to start with an attack, because at the very least, this will draw out the Mazavith, and then that's one less mana they have to use. Like, every little thing matters here. Like casting Tamiyo into Karakas, attacking Barrowgoyf into Mazavith. Those represent metrics other than just, did the thing do what I want or not? Tamiyo, Brainstorm. Get that flip. Wrath of the Skies, what's up? This is the game I wanted to play. And now they're about to be betrayed by their Yavimaya as I obliterate all their permanents. Lorien Revealed and Prismatic Ending go back? Or I think it's Swords to Plowshares, Lorien Revealed. Tamiyo flips. I'm going to plus, then I'm going to Wrath of the Skies for 1, and the only permanents in play will be our mana-producing lands and my Tamiyo and Barrowgoyf. Ooh, something's happening. We're going to fight over this? What does that fight even look like? They're kind of telling me about crop rotation here. It's like crop rotation or dismember, right? The things that could happen. I would love it if they got worried about the Tamiyo and used crop rotation, because they could crop rotate away Urza Saga into some other useful card in response to Wrath of the Skies. All right, we're getting a crop rot. You grab another Urza Saga, grab a Thespian Stage with the plan to copy Urza Saga. I'm fine with all those outcomes. Karakas. Okay, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Okay, now Karakas is involved in the game, and the sky is looking a little wrathful. Oh, wait. Shit, they rotated away their Yavimaya. That was kind of smart. All right, I'll fetch. I guess I have to fetch now, which does clear away my Lorien and Plow. All right, the sky is still looking wrathful, though. We'll probably see them pop Soul Guide Lantern to draw a card in response. There it goes. Do I even care about the Pithing Needle? It makes future constructs bigger. I could just bank an energy, is the thing. It's fine. I have enough mana. I don't think I'm going to need to specifically bank energy for a bigger Wrath of the Skies later. Barrowgoyf is 7/8. We are almost at the max here. We need a Battle and a Kindred, I think, is what's missing. Life from the Loam, getting back Saga, Yavimaya, Saga. Okay, that's actually terrible. Just did all that work. Mazavith crushing me here. I don't have a Mystic Sanctuary. Not included in the deck. And I'm about to be sent to Clown Town by Life from the Loam. But I just need a little Cling to Dust action, and we could be out of this. That's not too bad. Dredged Loam hit Wasteland and another Saga. If they cast Loam, they can't make constructs. This is a little bit of a squeeze. Okay, Yavimaya makes that not true, but if they cast Loam, then they can't make a construct and use Mazavith. I'm going to move to combat. If I can get a clue off Tamiyo, nice. Yeah, they actually need all of their mana this turn. Pushing the Barrowgoyf back. I will draw the card immediately. And hit an extra land. Didn't need that. Oh, they didn't make a construct in the end step. Is that not the plan, or did they forget? It didn't float mana on this priority pass either. I feel like they just got a little clicky, lost in the sauce. Yeah, they said they leaned on their keyboard. Yep, that would explain why that end step and then main phase did not happen the way I expected it would. Expedition map could be another, could be half of stage depths. If they get a Thespian Stage and start copying Urza Saga, that's bad for me. Everything's bad for me. Who am I kidding? I believe my Meticulous Archive is still in the deck, though, because... Nope, never mind. Must have gotten it earlier. All right, there's a Tundra in play now. For no reason. Did it get exiled somehow? Where is it? Oh, it's literally in play. Literally right there. You fucking idiot. Okay. I'm going to try to walk them into a trick here. Okay, they did not bounce. They don't seem worried about clue tokens. They could have bounced Tameo. They're more worried about the Planeswalker than they are about the clue token, which makes some sense. And I am just going to hold this Brainstorm Diamond Hands until they tap their Caracas, and then I will get a Planeswalker. Okay, I can actually force... Or no, I can't force the issue because they can wait till the trigger. But Ponder does force the issue. Okay, Ponder. Yeah, so they bounce with Caracas. Oh, there's the Cling. We're doing it. Okay, Cling to Dust in my hand. Tameo triggers. They bounce Tameo. I replay Tameo, cast Brainstorm immediately. Nope, I've already drawn 3 cards this turn. That's not how that works. That's not how anything works. The Loam is in their hand right now. So I'll play Delta. I'll play Tameo. Yeah, if they're willing to absorb clue tokens and the card advantage they offer to make sure I never get the Planeswalker by waiting for the trigger, then I actually can never get a Planeswalker, but I am drawing 2 cards a turn. Okay, cool. I think we can figure this out. But Cling to Dust is a huge deal to have access to. Another Wasteland. So they could just be trying to like screw me off of black mana, but I have a basic swamp in my deck I can fetch. If they settle into... I'm going to float a blue, I guess. Right, passing on the blue. They didn't replay the Loam. Okay. I will draw a counterspell here, creating the situation I described during sideboarding of get a priority pass with... Ooh, okay. They blinked. They were so careful for so long, then blinked. Exercise can exile Saga, if I care about that anymore. Put back Marsh Flats and Force of Will. Okay, cool. Got that one through. Decided letting me draw 2 cards a turn for that long was no good, but by then I had the Brainstorm. Again, making them tap a forest to stop Barrowgoyf. Plus Tameo. I can exile Urza's Saga, and then counterspell Life from the Loam, and then Cling to Dust the Life from the Loam. Okay, okay. I feel the tide starting to turn a little bit here. I actually am going to play this Flooded Strand. More mana sounds good here. There's still a Saga in their hand from earlier, I think. Blast Zone. That can kill Tameo. Just busting that immediately before I can get back my Wrath of the Skies. Mox Diamond is fine. I don't think I want this Force of Will that's on top of my deck. I'm going to get the basic swamp, start building out the basics. Now that they've shown me they're willing to tutor Wasteland. Okay, here we go. Now we could start to turn the corner. Overpower a singular Mazavith with my second of 4 Barrowgoyfs. Second main. Do I care about Mox Diamond? I think I do. They're kind of running out of action here. And as long as they can't pull ahead, I'm in good shape. Okay, here we go. Time to take this game over. It won't take many hits with an 8-9 Barrowgoyf to win. Exploration is fine because I'm going to break up the Loam. Exploration is very bad if they can protect their Loam, though. Okay, counterspell that. There is a Tranquil Thicket in the graveyard already, and I hope they don't have another one in their hand. Okay, end step. Cling to Dust, Life from the Loam. Nice, that worked. Okay. I think I'm going to win now. Took a lot of work, but I feel extremely comfortable at this point. Okay. Pushing one back. Probably chump the other. Nice, okay. And I think just leaving up Counterspell plus Cling to Dust will mostly take over this game. Life from the Loam's their best card and it's undercover. Swords to Plowshares. All right, well, I will counter that because I am trying to get out of here on time today. I got an out. I'm trying to hit. Not really. I just think it is right to counter that. Oh, did I get got? Okay, Loam targeting Saga, Wasteland, and what's the other one? Blast Zone? I think I'm going to Cling the Blast Zone in response. I could Brainstorm. See if I hit a counterspell. I'm mostly out of counterspells, though. I could hit another Cling. All right, I'm just going to Cling. Cling. I'm most worried about Blast Zone here. I'm leaving up black in case I draw the other Cling off this cantrip. Oh my god! Call the police. Okay, Wasteland versus... Yeah, I'm just leaving the Saga there. They didn't get back the Tranquil Thicket, so now I can just use the Cling. Saga's in. Wasteland's in. Rotating some crops. Alright. second Mazavith incoming. That's going to be so annoying to work through. Yep. We're going to Cling to Dust this Life from the Loam from my hand. Swords to Plowshares. I am ahead on clock and deck. Or no, I am behind on deck, but I'll find a Barrowgoyf before I deck myself. That's easy to do. All right, put back 2 lands. Fetch. Scrubland. Lorien. I am not going to play the decking game. I'm just going to try to find ways to win the game. I'm significantly ahead on clock, though, and Mazavith is not exactly nothing to have to activate twice a turn. Okay, I'm going to keep the Ponder as Force Blue card. That could be important. Bona just said maybe they should let the Goyf sit and try to deck me. I may mill that many cards. Try it. You want to take 16, and I will mill 0. They're tapping a bunch of mana. Why? Crucible of Worlds. That's not a card I want to play against. That's why we held the Ponder back. And I am drawing randomly at this point. Yeah, I cast Lorien revealed. All right, Barrowgoyfs get in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I can flashback Cling twice. They've already used Soul Guide Lantern. I wonder if there's actually even a tutorable artifact left in their deck at this point. There's probably at least 1 Mox Diamond, but that doesn't matter if they don't have lands to discard to it. They could just delete it out of the deck so they don't have to redraw it. But if this game comes down to decking, you might just want a random card in there. Lobster Boots, sure. Thespian Stage is a little scary. I'm going to Cling at least once in the end step. I'll exile, I think, Ghost Quarter is the one I'm next most scared about. Okay, I found my basic island. Prismatic Ending. That does not matter. Okay, you want to mess around and see if the Barrowgoyfs are going to deck me? Nope. Okay, basic island's in play, and I'll pass. I'm not going to Cling in the end step here, just to draw a card. If they cast a Loam or something, I'll respond to it, but I can chill otherwise. Wrath of the Skies. I don't actually need to do that here. Exploration and Lobster Boots are not the permanents I'm worried about. And the permanents I am worried about don't work. Swords to Plowshares, that was a good draw. Now we're back under the Mazaviths. There is 1 Barrowgoyf accounted for here, so there's still 2 more in the deck. I can still overcome these Mazaviths. I'm not just wasting time for fun. Tamiyo. I can at least make you spend time using your permanents, I guess. They bounce Tamiyo. I can replay Tamiyo here. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I actually could flip Tamiyo here if I think that's good. I don't necessarily actually think it is. Thoughtseize, hell yeah. That card's good. Bounce my Tamiyo. Attack with Barrowgoyf. Untap Barrowgoyf. Thoughtseize you. There are 2 cards over there. I'll take Mox Diamond, I guess. Rivestone Portal is the other one. And replay Tamiyo. Forest. I am getting F6 value off the Thoughtseize, if nothing else. Ponder. The Ponder helps me get where I want to go with the Tamiyo. Alright, so that was pre-combat. I'll still do all this pre-combat. Tamiyo, Ponder. This is 2 cards drawn this turn. Brainstorm. I'll take it. Brainstorm. I can put back this extra Tamiyo. Or no, I'm going to put back both the lands. Lands are gone. I actually don't even know if I have a fetchable left. I think there might be exactly 1. It's 1 or 0. It's 0. Cool. But the 2 Barrowgoyfs confirm they're in there. Okay, I'm not going to bother attacking now. God, these just Swords of Plowshares. Chill. Okay. Alright, now I have to actually plow this thing. I don't know if I can actually win anymore. Like, the clock is obviously here because it's Magic Online, but I don't think I can actually beat 2 Mazaviths with my deck. I don't know how my opponent would win either, but a Wasteland resolves. I got multiple Tamiyos going here. I can pick up spells, but I'm not even convinced it matters. Plus this Tamiyo, I guess. Attack. I'll make a clue. I'm not going to use it, though. Did I board out all my Bowmasters? Do I have any way that I can still deal damage? It's not looking good. It seems like my opponent is just F6'd fully, just doing Magic Online bullshit. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm going to Wrath for 2. That kills my clues and my Tamiyo and shit, but whatever. Bajuka bogging me. That is not unuseful. That clears out my clings. And now if they draw a loam, they're back in. Plus Tameo. They're still casting spells. I don't care about exploration. Lorien revealed LMAO. I will not be casting that. I'm going to discard that. I could have just played Prismatic Ending, but I'm just clicking fast at this point because we're not actually playing Magic anymore. F6, F6, plus Tameo. Prismatic End, the exploration. F6. Down to 8 cards in my deck. Come on, Barrowgoyfs, you shitheads. Endurance. That's actually a way to win the game. I'm going to counter that spell. Swords of Plowshares is probably smarter, but whatever. We're just throwing cards around at this point. Wasteland. You got me. Barrowgoyf. Almost caught up on time here. That sucks. I'm going to stop activating Tameo, that's for sure. I can play a Tameo. I can attack with Barrowgoyf. Endurance resolves. Plow it. The Endurance themselves, so they're not going to deck. Yeah, I wish this was more interesting to either play myself or for you to view at home. But we are just in complete fake garbage mode at this point. And I have to attack because I need them to activate their abilities. Plow, Force. Still pretending I'm playing this game in any meaningful capacity. Oh, smart. Now they're F6ing through the Barrowgoyf triggers too. Yeah, they have plenty of life. Barrowgoyf is not a 9-power creature anymore. I think they're going to be ahead on clock going into game 3 after I deck myself. Okay, change their mind. Well, we've caught up on time. Barrowgoyf is now a 0, or no, that was just a cast. I drew my other Barrowgoyf, but I've clicked through casting it. I'm actually behind on time now. I should just concede. All right. Yeah, this just sucks. Like, I don't know. We saw how we could actually be completely run out of threats by a deck. That was cool. It was cool the Magic we actually played, but the garbage incentives of the clock on Magic Online, and now, like, it's not like we're going to play game 3. I don't know. We're just going to click really fast and wait for someone to lose. Okay. Swords to Plowshares. I'm going to board out one of those. I don't want to board out too many because Merit Lage is how they could kill me. I guess I'll cut Thoughtseize and I'll get 2 Bowmasters back in. I think I win that game if I just have 1 Bowmaster in my list. Or if I didn't mill over my Wandering Emperor that early. Or if this deck had a single Wasteland or Harbinger of the Seas or literally anything in it. All right, I'm going to keep... I will actually pretend to play Magic here. I don't think these decks can actually resolve a game in 2.5 minutes each on the clock. But I will make a good faith effort to play the game here. Ancient Tomb, Sphere of Resistance, okay. I can push through something like that. Yeah, I'm just like F6ing as much as I can here. Wasteland, played around it. Another Sphere, cool. Well, this game will not be interesting after all. I'm going to fetch basic Swamp and then F6. All right, next turn, I would need an untapped land to kill the Spheres. Or that's not even true. It would cost me way more than that even. Okay, eat a clue. Cycling Tranquil Thicket in response. I drew a Brainstorm. That can get me into Planeswalker Town. If that matters. I'm not convinced it does. Put back Tameo and Lorien. Plus Archive, dump a Lorien. Clean up, discard, Prismatic Ending. I'm sure that's not right, but no time to play the game. Pithing Needle, fetch. I mean, they're going to name Tameo, but I'm still going to fetch. They named Tameo Inquisitive Student. That's the wrong one. We're both playing fast. Cycle Lorien, get Underground Sea, F6. Another Wasteland. Plus, pass. Got him. Moral victory in a game I'm going to time out of. Cycle Lorien for Tundra. Honestly, huge shame, because I think I would win this game. Still might, actually. Bajuka Bog makes it a little worse, I guess. But not really. Whatever. Okay. I'll go to my turn, activate Tameo, draw my deck, play Barrowgoyf. Oh my god, please. Alright, here we go. Just forgot to play a land. Already F6'd. Can't undo it now. Oh wait, maybe I can if they play a spell. Okay, Barrowgoyf's gone. Tundra's in play. Pass. Yeah, I have 22 seconds left here. Alright, I'm over it. I'm over it. I'm completely over it. This match was actually really good, and this did feel like Legacy, and this was super sweet. I wish we had 6 hours to resolve this game because I think I am winning this. If I had conceded game 2 4 minutes earlier, but for most of that time I was ahead on clock. But yep, GG's. On to the next round. The 9th installment of the NYSE Vintage Open Series is coming. This 15 proxy vintage tournament with Power 9 prizes takes place on Saturday, June 14th, 2025 in Long Island, New York, and has a $500 entry fee. That's a hefty entry, but the guaranteed prizes for top 8 are unlimited Black Lotus, Ancestral Recall, Time Walk, and all 5 Moxen. The NYSE Open 8 went well for me last year. Someone better come stop me from getting another Lotus. Will it be you? I'll be at the NYSE Open 9 on June 14th, and I hope to see you there. Register on melee.gg or use the link in the video description. I'm on the draw in round 3. I have taken a lunch break and hopefully am feeling better moving forward in this league. My hand has an early Tamiyo flip, and I can protect it. I'm going to go for that. A basic forest from the opponent. Could be Eldrazi or lands again. Mono forest league so far. Taiga. That's not Eldrazi. Elvish Reclaimer. This card will probably be trouble. And I don't currently have a removal spell or a white mana to cast a removal spell. I'm going to force Pitching Ponder. That is just the type of card that will be trouble eventually. Replace my Force of Will immediately, feeling good. Get my clue in the bank, and then I'll flip Tamiyo. Found the Plow, and I do have white mana and Barrowgoyf. Okay, so I don't need 2 Underground Seas. And if I want Force Blue card and a follow-up threat and Swords to Plowshares, I don't think I can actually have all those things. I could put the Brainstorm on top, and now I have Force Blue card. If I need to force, I can just Brainstorm or dig for my second or my third land other ways. That's annoying. Moloch. Does this fight Planeswalkers? When Moloch enters, fights up to 1 target creature an opponent controls. Alright, Tamiyo's not a creature. I can let this happen. Okay, so we're playing against some sort of Gruul Magic Cards deck. I'm going to cycle the Lorien, get the Tundra, and now I can fetch basic planes if I care. I kind of think I want to just buy back Brainstorm. If I buy back Brainstorm and then just cast Barrowgoyf, I have Force Blue card to protect it. I'll try this. If they waste me, Barrowgoyf gets bigger, and I do have the replacement ready. Some sort of Maverick Depths thing going on over there. Moloch is getting in. They must have Lightning Bolt in their deck if they're doing this. I will, of course, eat that with my bigger creature. Bajuka Bog, smart. Okay, this will kill the Barrowgoyf. Cool trick. Oh, and a Wasteland for the way out. Alright, sweet. That was cool timing. Barrowgoyf's dead. But I am mostly fine with that exchange. I'm just going to take a turn of development here. I have a clue to crack. I have a Planeswalker to plus. I don't need to be brainstorming when I don't know what my problem is yet. Okay, now I have a bit of a problem. How many prismatic endings are in my deck? It's 4. The full boat. Okay. In that case, I'd like to start with a brainstorm, see if I find an ending. I did not. Put back Tamiyo and this Polluted Delta. And then I'll fetch for Underground Sea. Maybe I just want basic planes. Yeah, if they're a Wasteland deck, I'm going to eat my clue. Alright. At the end of the chain here, I will force this thing. Didn't find what I was looking for, and I don't want to try my luck versus that card specifically. Spell Pierce. That would have been a cleaner answer to that force, but now I'm ready to hit a Green Sun Zenith for 3. Knight of the Reliquary resolves. I'm rolled up on Swords to Plowshares here. Alright, Tamiyo, bring it home for me here. I think I would like... I'm going to buy back this Force of Will, and I have 5 lands, now I can hardcast it. Hierarch is neutralized by Tamiyo. I don't have to respect that directly. Mother is a bit of a concern. I'm going to fetch for Meticulous Archive and see if I'm drawing Bowmaster here. Brainstorm. I will keep the Brainstorm around. I think I'll just, you know what it is, plow the Mother. Draw Brainstorm, pass. There are cleaner ways to do this, but this mostly unchecked Tamiyo is just giving me so many cards all the time. This Mother's fine because I can buy back Okay. I will brainstorm here. They could have Bowmaster. All right. I have Bowmasters. I made a Bowmasters. All right. I'm going to put back Cling to Dust and one of the Bowmasters. And then I will go to my turn and draw the other Bowmaster. Just keeping Force Blue card up the whole time. And now I can pick off all their creatures one by one. Bowmaster, kill your mother. No offense, just business. Plus Tamiyo. I am tapped out of Force of Will here. I don't care about that Swords to Plowshares. Got more where that came from. Minskin Boo. I'll pierce that spell. That was a nice one. They danced around for a long time. And now put them in check. Tamiyo is on 8, and they know I have Force of Will in hand. If they do something like Wasteland main phase, move to second main, hurt Tamiyo, that would dance around the Force, but we did it. Okay. Barrowgoyf Wrath of the Skies. We're playing in some sort of Gruul Maverick something or other. Maverick Depths, perhaps. Exercise seems good enough. Containment Priest. We didn't see Green Sun Zenith, but I feel like it's in there. Moloch is indicative of a Zenith package for the most part. I don't think I need these Clings. They're not textless. They almost always cantrip. Gaining 3 life might matter. They could affect the size of their Knight of the Reliquary here or there. But I don't think that's the axis I want to fight the game on. I can go fewer Force of Wills. This opponent isn't really going to cast cards to kill me outright, except for maybe Choke. But I have Exercise and 4 Prismatic Endings to deal with that. I saw enough targets for Bowmaster. Those Mother of Runes are pretty scary. I think -1 Tamiyo, minus Thoughtseize. Though Tamiyo is the reason I can support all these Force of Wills. I could go -1 Bowmaster, but the redundant Tamiyo is not great. Okay, I'm going to do it like this. Just significantly whiter. I've got Sweepers in now. Yeah, Counterspell I can't cast. A Drown in the Loch that might not work, but my mana's here. I have lots of interaction versus various types of things. They could go for a turn 1 Mother of Runes, but Wrath of the Skies can sweep it up. Hierarchs in. Basic Swamp gives me access to all of my basic lands. If I want them, I can fetch Plains and cycle for Island. Wasteland. Choke, huh? Well, we're doing this. I guess I will fetch for basic Plains and cycle for Island then. Plains, cycle for Island, and then I'll go Swamp Bowmaster, kill the Hierarch. And I'm looking for one of my 5 answers to this thing. And Scrubland works here too. I guess Wrath of the Skies is eventually an answer to this. Does Skull and Jamage? Yeah, it does. All right. It could happen. Another Lorien. Do some damage here. I can counter a 2-drop here or kill a 2-drop creature. Knight of the Reliquary. If they fetch, I can kill that. Okay, I'm going to cycle Lorien Revealed and get another Tundra. Okay. I'm going to play the Tundra because if they waste this one, that's a land that they could kill at will anyway. Like the Choke versus Wasteland squeeze, but Scrubland they can't waste. Okay, perfect. I'll load a blue. And now I can drown Knight of the Reliquary. They could probably get a Sejiri Step or a Talon Gates or something here, but I'm still going to make them do stuff rather than just get everything for free. They could flip into Bajuka Bog and target themselves. Endurance works too. I could Force of Will this Endurance, or I could tread water through it and try to catch it in the Wrath of the Skies later. I think I'm going to Force. I'll make them Bajuka Bog or Sejiri Step if they want to do this. Yeah, Talon Gates. Same shit, different toilet. You got it. Tamiyo. I will not be casting that card. I am going to attack with Bowmaster, but not Orc Army. My next land is a very important one, and they can use Knight to Wasteland me whenever they want. He singular Swords to Plowshares. Gets me right back where I want to be. Oh shit, that's so bad. I'm going to lose to Gaddock. Alright, now I need a Swords to Plowshares and then a land in that order. Alright, being Tamiyo flooded, not great. Okay, I think I'm going to lose now. I guess just slamming a Barrowgoyf here plays, and I can do that without tapping an island. There's 4 of them in here. Yeah, I can't cast non-creature spells with mana value 4 or greater, or spells with X in their mana costs. That means they can't Zenith too. I also can't Prismatic Ending. Yikes. It's got an ugly team. There's a plow. That is a step in the right direction, I guess. Head of the Reliquary is getting rowdy here. I'll just chump it. If the Wrath works, then this is going to lose anyway. They could have crop rotation or some other thing in their hand to protect the Teague. Okay, this is it. If I draw a land right now, I think I can take over this game. Untapped land, let's go! Oh my god. Oh my god. Control gaming. Okay, well, I'm free. They still have 4 cards in their hand. And I did have to tap out to do that. Okay, they're just casting an Endurance while my mana's down. That makes sense. Who do you want to target? Nobody. Okay, keeping those graveyards stocked. Well, Wandering Emperor rips insanely hard. This means I don't have to do anything. I was about to have to debate, do I invest the Tamiyo? Do I live up Counterspell? How long can I get hit by Endurance before I have to like tap out of Counterspell to do something? Zenith for 1. This could be Mother. Oh no, it can't be Mother. It's probably... I think I'm just gonna cast the Wandering Emperor now. It's probably Sylvan Safekeeper would be my guess. Maybe they get a Reclaimer here and try to get the lands package going. Noble Hierarch's even live. Yeah, I mean, there's plenty of things. Okay. Bowmaster. All right, that's another blocker. Okay, I'm actually going to prioritize Counterspell. I was going to play Tamiyo, tap out a Counterspell for a turn, get a plus on that, but I'll just plus on my Bowmaster instead and leave Counterspell up. They are on the beatdown plan. Like, beatdown versus get lands moving around was actually something that they had to decide on, and they've decided on beats. Bajuka Bog, target me. Sure, my shit's gone. Zenith for 1. This is going to be another Reclaimer. I'm not interested. Whatever this is, I'm going to counter it. This frees up Minskin Boo for next turn, which I'm not hyped about. Okay, Tamiyo, land, make a 2/2. And do I want to push damage? I think I do. Okay, I'm worried about Minskin Boo. Plowing my Tamiyo. She's out of there. All right, filtering mana. Okay, so I'm going to lose Wandering Emperor here, and then I have a new Tamiyo. That's okay. That was a Several for 1. Hierarch. And Meticulous Archive still in the deck. I'm going for it. Prismatic Ending. Let's go. Put that on top. Opponent is Hellbent over there. End your Reclaimer. Play Tamiyo. We're just throwing cards into play. I am favored here. I both have more power in play and I have a Draw Engine in play, but they have big rips, like a Knight of the Reliquary could flip it. Minskin Boo flips it immediately. They're tapping mana. Oh no. Not Minskin Boo, don't do it. Oh my goodness. Trample, Lifelink, Haste, Fleetfoot Dancer. Okay, I wasn't ready for this, but there's about to be a 10-point life swing on the table. Trample, Lifelink, Haste with Exalted. Okay. Was not ready for that card. Luckily, it's not that important, but if I can't answer it quickly, it will become important. Right, I'll push back, draw a card with Clue, and Exercise. We did it. Exercise is a sorcery. Gotta cast it now if I'm casting it. All right, we're back into top deck mode. They're pushing for 1. I'm pushing for 2. I am winning the race, and I'm drawing 2 cards a turn. Wasteland's fine. All right, let's go. I could leave back Bowmaster to not take chip shots from Noble Hierarch, which could matter in a super long game if they like lightning bolt me to break the race on the last turn. But I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to Prismatic End this Noble Hierarch either. If they find a Reclaimer or Knight or something, that's going to be way more important to remove. And I do think in a game this tight, just having 2 cards a turn by cracking my Clue every turn immediately is better than stacking up a Clue to try to flip into a Planeswalker. It's just so tight and every resource matters. Beastorm, let's go. Tamiyo, you're alive. If they have Bowmaster, it would have had to be cast off of Bajuka Bog or Talon Gates. Like, this looks like a Naya deck. I'd be honestly surprised if they actually have Bowmaster in it. Pyroblast, sure. That plays. They pass the turn. Our life totals go back to being the same here. Again, no land, no spell. So they either have a reactive spell or nothing. Oh, Endurance would play here. Yeah, they have something. Okay, yep. Endurance is something I could have played around, but it's still fine. I'm not justifying that I did a good job here, but it is fine, actually. They're blocking Tamiyo, which is great because I have more of those. There's more where that came from. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I could flip Tamiyo this turn with a mana still open, or I could just... I think I'm going to wait. I'm going to draw with my clue. Now I have Force Blue card. Prismatic Ending. Whoa, hold on. That's not the correct mana. Okay. Black, white, blue. Very important to tap that one right. And I guess I will deploy another Tamiyo here. Save myself a mana for next turn. Force Blue card in emergency. Lorien revealed flips Tamiyo if I don't have an emergency. That is not an emergency. And did not attack because they don't have an attack. I do have an attack. Yeah, I'll attack with both. Swords to Plowshares here gives me a lot of freedom. The full reload. Wrath of the Skies. Another Bowmaster. I think there's only one fetchable left in the deck. Yep, I'm not going to play this Polluted Delta. I will pass, and in response to their Exalted triggers, I'll kill whatever's attacking. We got the GGs, though. GG's, okay. Some nice legacy where a bigger control mid-range style deck actually was well advantaged. We did it. I just had to play against the deck from 2012 for it to work out. On to the next round.
This video is sponsored by Moxfield.com, the easiest way to build Magic decks online. Moxfield supports over 30 formats, including Legacy and everything else you'll see on this channel. There's multiple customizations so you can interact with your deck how you want. Views such as text, grid, or stacks, and groupings like type, subtype, color, color identity, even artist. The site offers light mode, dark mode, and so much more. However you want to see your deck, Moxfield can provide it for you. Follow my Moxfield to keep up with the channel and what I'm playing in paper. I'll see you there.
I'm on the draw for round 4 with a heavily interactive hand. I'm going to keep Mr. Rainforest, Forest League confirmed. All opponents love Forest. Thoughtseize you. I'm playing against Achilles 27. The historical part of my brain is telling me this is also a Maverick player, but there might be more than one Achilles. Okay, definitely not Maverick. Entomb, Reanimate, Stifle are over there. Stifle will be annoying eventually, but Entomb is not actually a card I'm prepared to play against in any capacity. I'll take the Entomb. Glad I didn't run into that Stifle. That would have sucked. Undercity Sewer. And kept their card on top. We're playing against another deck that I hope doesn't exist by the time you're watching this video. Or at least is... I actually don't want any deck to not exist, but I would like them to be brought in line. My band philosophy is how do we keep this deck in the format, not how do we get rid of this deck. Okay, I'm going to pass. If they fetch, I'll fetch, but we both know about the Stifle, so they're not going to fetch. Wasteland. That sucks. I'll float a blue. I am good on lands. My 17 land deck doing its job here. Punching well above its weight class. Fetching, probably going to get a second sewer. Oh, they don't have a second sewer. That's lucky. Ponder. We didn't know about that one. We know 4 of their 5 cards right now. Or was that the Polluted Delta that I knew about? Okay. Maybe that was the Polluted Delta I knew about. I know 3 of their 5 cards right now. Did not shuffle. Has a basic swamp. The cool thing about being a, air quotes, control deck is I love these draw go games. I'm hitting land drops. I'm chilling. Fuck. Well, now I lose. I will force pitching force. If they have a blue card in their hand, I'm going to get, or they have the Stifle at minimum. Force pitching Daze. So they still have Stifle. And this is why this deck is really annoying. It's being a full control deck or tempo deck. Plays draw go, but also has an Insano button that I don't have. Another Stifle. Both of the remaining Entombs. That's all 4. I am playing a deck that could catch up with this. That is the strength of control. If I find a Swords to Plowshares and plow this Atraxa, that becomes something that I just have to overcome a few more goofy cards. Unfortunately, Entomb and Animate Dead are 2 of the cards. Okay, they took Reanimate, Wasteland, Entomb, Animate Dead. Okay, here, this is actually tricky. I'm going to fetch first. Because they could just Stifle this, or they could see if I get a Surveil land and then just waste it. Luckily, the Surveil land doesn't need to be in play to do its job. I'm going to dump Lorien Revealed. There's that. That's fine. And it's not fine, but it's happening. Prismatic Ending, Tough Crowd, Fetch. This one will probably get stifled. That's fine. Fetch. I'm going to get Underground Sea. I'm going to play Flooded Strand, and I'm going to play Ponder. Playing around days where I can here. A bunch of shit that is not removal. I'll shuffle this. And Drown in the Lock. That's almost good. That actually can kill Atraxa, but they have the Entomb Reanimate in their hand and just get to send it again. Yep, there's the Entomb. And they know it's good because the last one resolved. Alright, I get it. I lose. Grafdigger's Cage comes in. I like Bowmaster. Hull Breacher's interesting. Yeah, this is really about how much I think there's still going to be a combo deck after board. And they don't juke that well anymore, so I think they will still mostly be. Wandering Emperor is super clunky. I have Thoughtseize and multiple Cling to Dust, and I'm bringing in all these other things. I'm going to back off of a Force of Will. And Tamiyo can be a little slow for a matchup like this. Yeah, I'll just try it like this. I've got Grafdigger's Cage in my opener. I will keep. And we've seen the Stifles now, so I'm actually going to fetch Tundra first and play Cage. That takes a bunch of pressure off the random nonsense their deck is capable of, and now I have to beat the goofball parts. I'm just going to leave a counterspell here. A lot of Reanimator decks, the Dimir Reanimator decks, have moved to just playing up to 4 Brazen Borrower across the 75, and they're just built like combo decks now, where they can bounce a Grafdigger's Cage and win at some point. Sometimes they're in on their Bowmaster Barrowgoyf kind of gaming, but I am ready for that. They just passed back. Okay, I will go to my turn. I'm going to Ponder. If they have a Bowmaster, I have a Plow. It's not a huge deal. Okay, Plow that. Okay, that's handled. Still have to think about Stifle. I would really like to hit my land drops, and I did. Okay. Meticulous Archive is here. It's going to dump Prismatic Ending because I already have one of those, and I'm not sure if I need it. Not even sure if I need the one I have, much less the next one. Orc Army's attacking. Lorien Revealed is on top of my deck right now. Wasteland makes me want the Lorien, I guess. Big Barrowgoyf, you're in there. Wasting my archive. Okay, Island Cycle, Lorien Revealed. I think I am going to get the basic at this point. Basic Plains. I'm going to try to deal with this thing. Hope I don't get dazed. But getting hit with this thing even once can be game-breaking, so I got to take my shot. It worked. And we've reached the point where if they just go Brazen Borrower and Tomb Reanimate, I'm dead. Every untap step matters. Every time they follow up matters. Every time they don't follow up matters. A Brainstorm, found a Misty Rainforest, and I have untapped successfully. Tamiyo, let's go. That's a good one. I am not going to aggressively Brainstorm to flip it. That would tap me out of Counterspell. Fetched in the end step, and they're casting Brazen Borrower as a creature. I'm going to Counterspell that just because I'm actually not ready to answer it. And I don't want to be in a spot where I'm dying if I'm patient. This can take me off black. If they don't attack here, then they don't have Bowmaster. If they do attack here, they might have Bowmaster. They should attack here. I actually can't block here because if they have a Bowmaster, it's so devastating. Okay. They either do not have Bowmaster or they're a level 10 genius to not attack there and meaningfully sell a bluff that they don't have it. Okay, I'm attacking. I really don't think they have Bowmaster here, but I also don't need to take any chances. I'm making clues. Petty thefting my cage is going to work. I have the Containment Priest. If they go for a full send this turn, I have Priest plus Pierce. Reanimating Brazen Borrower. That's not very good. I'll still Containment Priest because we're here. We're doing it. And then they lose 3 life and don't get anything. Cool. The second layer of hate. Paying off. Okay, now Tamiyo will attack. And they will probably try to block with Brazen Borrower. Nope, didn't bother. Okay, fair enough. And I'm going to play Cage again. Just get that back in the mix. And I'm just a Swords to Plowshares away from complete stability. Yeah, there's that. I think that's fine. I definitely can't Brainstorm now, because then I would just lose the Tamiyo. Orc Army's attacking now. Nope. All right, backed off. I'll take the Brazen Borrower hit and then start using my clues. Okay, they somehow did have a Bowmaster. They must have just drawn it this turn, I think. Luckily, I don't care about Priest anymore, but I do care about them having a 3/3. Yeah, so they're either being extremely patient to the point of like master level shit, or they just drew that card. And I'm going to attack with Tamiyo. And then I'm going to cast Ponder. I should play my land first. I'm going to cast Ponder. My own Bowmaster. Let's go. The best response to a bad guy with a Bowmaster is a good guy with a Bowmaster. Okay, Bowmaster. Kill yours. And I could Brainstorm now. Does that even do anything I care about? Tamiyo would still be at 2 next turn. Yeah, I'd kind of rather have the clues. Now I got a 4/4 and a 3/1 to deal with. Jump to 4/4, take 3. This isn't going to hold forever. Land number 6. Okay, another Bowmaster is great. I will attack with everybody. And then I'm going to Brainstorm because I can deal with a Bowmaster over the top here. Okay, Spell Pierce. It's looking worse and worse, but if what they have is Hardcast Force, then Spell Pierce is still really good. I'm going to put back Brainstorm and Ponder and prioritize these creatures. Plus Tamiyo, play Flooded Strand, and I'll pass. In the upkeep, I'm going to kill Brazen Borrower. Okay, Tenuous Hold. They still have a 4/4, but Tamiyo can get back Prismatic Ending next turn, and then we're stable. Put my army in front of that, and it appears I'm getting to my turn. I will draw that Ponder that's underneath. Tamiyo, get back Prismatic Ending, end this Orc. And I think I'm going to attack with 1 Bowmaster. Does this matter? Maybe it should have been 2. I'm just trying to think if they have a Bowmaster, what can I do about it? And Hull Breacher can block it, I guess is my answer. Okay, I'm going to pass the turn. Fetching in the end step. The 4th Underground Sea, the mismatch playset. You love to see it. At least Magic Online is putting the good one in the front where I can look at it. Land number 7. They can now Force of Will around Spell Pierce. Okay, I'm going to crack a clue in the end step. Got away with it. Do I think they have Stifle? Do I care if they do? I will play around it. Swords to Plowshares, huge deal. Bowmasters get in. And I will pass. Thoughtseize. I'm going to flash in my Hull Breacher in response, just in case. And then go ahead, have at it. The game has gone on long enough that if they have another Brazen Borrower and Tomb Reanimate, that could take over. All right, cool. Locked them out. That was a value information Thoughtseize for a game they were going to concede. Do I want Barrowgoyf? I've now seen they're on a Bowmaster Barrowgoyf strat of their own. Bowmasters is great against Bowmasters. We saw Reanimate was still in the deck. Didn't see an Entomb, but it might have just been stranded in the hand. Exercise can kill a Barrowgoyf or an Atraxa or Archon of Cruelty. I don't really want the game to go that long. I'm cutting another Force of Will. I know I'm on the draw where it's even dicier, but I think I'm willing to be softer to their nut draw and then better against all normal distribution of games. Opponent's on 6. I have no graveyard interaction. I have great creature interaction. I have 2 lands. Unless they Thoughtseize me, then I have 1 land. Yeah, I like this hand if the opponent chills at all, which they probably shouldn't, but I don't know how sideboarded they are. Polluted Delta, Prismatic Ending, Undercity Sewer, that's not Entomb, or not yet. Okay, dumped a Thoughtseize. If they dumped Thoughtseize, then they must be looking for lands. Wasteland, that sucks. All right, if they have Stifle here too, I'm in a lot of trouble. I'm going to Island Cycle for... I guess I get another Tundra. I can't really afford to get a basic here. Thoughtseize. Handful of Garbo. They might take Tamiyo or Plow as my cheapest relevant plays. Yeah, they took Tamiyo. Lorien Revealed, I'll take it. I was about to say Fetch Land's one of my best draws if I can get this Bowmaster online. Cycling Troll. First appearance of that one in the match, but unsurprising that they have it. Cycle Lorien, that didn't get stifled. Good news, everybody. Cool. A fetch land right back out from my mana troubles. So they know I have Bowmaster. I know I have Bowmaster. They know I have Plow and Ending. I'm not going to be the sucker who runs out the first Bowmaster in a Bowmaster mirror, though. Though if I could run out the first one to get the second one, for my third one to kill the second one, that suddenly becomes a game plan of sorts. Okay, opponent is willing to be that sucker. Alright, well, I'll bite. The exchange is too good. I'll take it. Daze. Am I getting Stifle tricked? Cool. Okay, so they use the Stifle to turn on the Daze. They don't know I drew another Bowmaster, and this was a pretty good exchange for them. If they have a follow-up Wasteland or another Daze, this could be really bad. Oh, they just said in the chat they kept F6ing because they forgot Lorien Revealed exists. They've had the Stifle for several turns. Thoughtseize is going to see the other Bowmaster and the Barrowgoyf. These could both be problems for them. They probably take Bowmaster first and hope to fade land number 3. Oh wow, it took Plow. I don't like that. Are they just going to Murktide me then? Or does that mean they have Daze? Cling to Dust. Cling to Dust is not bad. It's not good though. Alright. If your last card in hand is Daze, you got me, but let's get it done. I kill this Bowmaster. Alright, we're making trades. This looks like another Bowmaster, but it's not. Alright. What's going on here? Are we slamming a Goyf? Yeah, we are. Okay, big moment to draw a land. Lorien Revealed's kind of a land someday. What lands are left in my deck? Tundra's already gone. I have Sea. I have nothing in exile. Okay, so I have Underground Seas, Meticulous Archive. I guess I'll get Meticulous Archive here. Archive. I actually would like that land, thank you. My plan is to chump block here. I hope that Orcish Bowmaster can hold up for one turn. Having the Barrowgoyf explains why they offered the Orc army up as a trade last turn, just one fewer chump in play. I'm gonna block. Getting hit with that is not worth whatever else might happen. Okay, please don't Force of Will. White, black, blue. Oh no, do they have double Daze or Daze Stifle again? Okay, get another Underground Sea. They must have double Daze then. Frustrating, but okay. Alright. I have another one of those. I have to endure one hit here. They have tap land, one unknown in hand. Brainstorm could turn the tap land into something else. And there is no window in Barrowgoyf where you see the cards it mills, but you could exile them. Barrowgoyf actually doesn't even care if the card is in exile. It just gets whatever it wants. Okay, the Goyf will clear the Brainstorm cards. They may have set up a creature to hit for sure, or they might just be clearing cards. Brazen Borrower picked up here. Borrower makes my Barrowgoyf a lot worse. Oh, come on! Alright, this deck's so good. Alright, now I'm fucked. I need to draw Swords to Plowshares to have any chance in hell at this game at this point. So I guess what I should have done is read 2 turns ago that their Orc army attack was too easy. Oh wow, they took the Cling to Dust. I hate that. What does that mean for me? Well, I drew Swords to Plowshares. That means I can get Barrowgoyf into play. Their hand is Brazen Borrower and 1 unknown. And 3 other days is already spent. Okay, I did flip back into a pretty impressive pushback. Reanimated Troll. Okay, that trades with Barrowgoyf. Unless they have an untapped land in hand, then it just kills me. It also explains why they took Cling to Dust last turn. And your boy is making a pushback. Okay, alright. We all have good cards we could draw. Barrowgoyf hits another Barrowgoyf. Put me back in the game, coach. And we... Okay, opponent probably played quite a bit better than me. Like, set up a bunch of interesting trades that I didn't think deep enough about until I was already getting squished. Stifle was a huge player in this match. And then Miracle Thoughtseize, protect their Barrowgoyf. Miracle Plow killed their Barrowgoyf. And then we were able to turn the tides. Tight. All right, on to the final round. The BoshNRoll channel is proudly partnered with the Resleevables.
Good. All right, here we go, gang.
In this YouTube series, hosts Cedric Phillips and Patrick Sullivan take us on a set-by-set journey through the good, the bad, and the ugly of Magic's history. Each episode is a focused deep dive into the facts about a set's design and release, the Magic lore expressed through the cards in that set, Tournament Edition gameplay videos featuring products and Pro Tour decks of the era, an award show that shouts out the best and weirdest cards of the set, and a final grade for the set's overall success. Whether you want a history lesson or a nostalgia hit, The Receivables has it at youtube.com/thereceivables.
I'm on the draw in the final round, positive record on the line, making a rally after a miserable start to this league. I have a hand that is full of one-mana interaction. I hope I get a turn. Opponent mulled to 6. Volcanic Island. I don't think there's any Volcanic Island decks. Or shit. I was about to say, I don't think there's any Volcanic Island decks that are going to kill me on turn 0, but Lion's Eye Diamond could shift what we think we know. Okay, Spell Pierce and Cling to Dust are up right now. This is almost certainly some kind of Storm deck. Oh, it's Dredge. Fun. Well, I'm cooked. So, oh wait. Oh no, they hit 2 Dredgers here. Damn. Okay, so they could Dredge 11 and then play Ox of Agonis, or I think the best thing I can do here is Spell Pierce the looting. Yeah, I'm going to go Underground Sea Spell Pierce. They still get at least 1 Faithless Looting, whether on the flashback or they just pay for Spell Pierce. 1 too many Dredgers here for me to break it up any other way. Okay. Flashback looting, gets back Poxwalkers immediately, then they dredge at least 11. 2 Narcomoebas, 2 Cabal Therapies. Alright, it's over. I don't care anymore. You win. Okay. On the play, I think I'm okay that game, but on the draw, we're dead. Consigned to Memory, I like. Cage, Priest, Lavinia is probably good. Yeah, that kills like every flashback spell. Bowmaster can target itself to blow up Bridge from Belows, if they even have Bridge from Belows. I don't like Barrowgoyf. Wrath of the Skies can clean up a board if I'm able to get to a mid-game stability where I just need to not die to zombies. I don't like Force of Negation. Yeah, Counterspell in general is really bad. I'm actually going to cut all my counterspells. I like Plow. The Cling to Dust was actually, even in my opening hand, wasn't good enough. I think I want 1 Wrath, just in case, just if I have to catch up. Drown in the Lock will be a hard counter against Dredge, that's for sure, but I don't think that's how I'm going to do this. Wandering Emperor doesn't seem very good. Bowmaster does seem pretty good. Barrowgoyf could push back and take over. Tameo insanely slow. Okay, I'm going to try it like this. Do I want the 4th Bowmaster? They don't do a lot of drawing cards, but they do have a lot of X1 creatures that come into play, like Icarids or Poxwalkers. And as I said, I can blow up my own Bowmaster with its own trigger. I think Prismatic Ending is probably worse than that. Traditional removal is useful in the matchup a little bit in certain spots, but I think Prismatic Ending might be too far. And I might actually get Wandering Emperor back in, or Drown in the Lock. I feel like it's one of these. I could go 2 Prismatic Endings out and get them both. Alright, yeah, that's fine. Let's go. This hand is pretty bad. I'm going to mulligan it. Just doesn't do anything. Okay, this one's good. I'm going to keep and bottom probably Wandering Emperor. Yeah, that one's the farthest away from useful. Whether I play Cage on turn 1 or not is actually interesting here, because they could be a Force of Will build, which I could then protect with a Spell Pierce. But on a mull to 5, I'm just going to go for it. On 7, I might have thought about it a little more. Cephalid Coliseum, you're in there. Oh, I drew Meticulous Archive, perfect. I was going to fetch for that. Now I don't even have to. I don't want a 4th land. Otherworldly Gaze, this can set things up, but with Cage in play, I am not going to fight over it. Dump 2 Dredgers and a basic mountain. They are dredging. 2 Narcomoebas will not come into play. This turns on Cephalid Coliseum. They could dredge a bunch, but also Cage is still in play. Faithless Looting. I think I'm okay with this. They're dredging. I flipped a bunch of stuff. I wonder if they're holding an answer to Cage already and they just want their graveyard juiced. And they're going to trick me somehow. or if there is a way that they can actually win by dredging recklessly into a Grafdigger's Cage. There's a bridge from below, confirmed that is in the build. Second Cephalid Coliseum. They're activating the Coliseum. They're going for it here. Do they just have Thassa's Oracle in their opening hand? Is that possible? Oh, Shenanigans. They just dredged up a Shenanigans. That makes sense. So there is a card they can dredge up that unlocks their graveyard. I can spell Pierce Shenanigans once. I do need a real answer pretty quick, though. I Brainstorm. Fix everything for me. Cling to Dust. We like that one. Put back Prismatic Ending, and even Wrath of the Skies could buy me a turn. I think I'm going to put back Prismatic Ending and Plow, and then I'll just pass. Shenanigans is a sorcery. I can spell Pierce it and then get a Cling, which is a cantrip. They're just taking draws now. They found what they were looking for. Spell Pierce that. It's a dredge 1, so it's not a big cost to get it back, but I can also Cling that. Okay, I found the line. Cling to Dust the Shenanigans. Get that out of here. Now they got to figure it out again. Finder. Orcish Bowmaster can nuke their bridges, and then there's a Barrowgoyf underneath it. Okay, we're back. And they're taking draws. It's like casting Narcomoeba can do stuff. Okay, Cephalid Coliseum, going again. Oh, I was supposed to Bowmaster in response. They didn't dredge in their upkeep. Yeah, I could have made this hurt a lot more. That was loose. Okay, how many bridges are accounted for? We've got 1. Is it actually just 1? It's disappointing. Okay, end step Bowmaster. Yeah, right on time, dumbass. I will blow up my own Bowmaster to kill their bridge, just in case that matters. I have Barrowgoyf following up here. Okay, Barrowgoyf on the stack. And I cannot escape Cling to Dust because of Grafdigger's Cage. They're dredging now. There's Narcomoeba. Trigger gets stuffed. Scrubland. Big swing. Barrowgoyf. Start filling me up. This is good for 5. I whiffed on that. Sucks to suck. They have 9 cards left in their deck. Is there a Thassa's Oracle in their hand? And another land? What are they looking for? What's going on? I'm so worried. They are dead next turn, though. Gotta keep smacking here. They could just be playing it out to let me mill stuff over and see stuff like Containment Priest, which they have now seen. Luckily, I can beat Thassa's Oracle, even if they somehow have that card. Silent Gravestone. That stops Cling to Dust. Okay, they said they'll pretend this doesn't get forced. It didn't get forced. But I do have this Containment Priest instead. Okay. Yeah, they said, I'll pretend this doesn't get forced, and I didn't have force, but I did have the face-up Containment Priest. Okay, the Shenanigans tech, good to know. That is something I can sandbag a Cling to Dust for. We've seen Silent Gravestone now in their deck, which does not turn off Priest or Cage, but it does turn off Cling. I have 1 Wrath in. Maybe I should change that to 1 Prismatic Ending, or add a Prismatic Ending, not change it. Wandering Emperor out, Prismatic Ending in. I could also max up out on Force of whatevers if I want to just survive turn 1. Yeah, maybe Force is better than Thoughtseize on the draw. They're both really bad once the dredge gets going, so I don't feel too bad about losing one of those. Alright, I'll try this. Scary situation we're in. Okay, I do have Force and a line to Bowmaster. Force is not always good. It depends on what their open is. The play is Force literally whatever they cast. Like, Lion's Eye Diamond, force it. Faithless Looting, force it. It doesn't matter. Anything they cast here, I will force. Basic Mountain. Yeah, I'm going to force this Lion's Eye Diamond. The Lion's Eye Diamond, fuck. Alright, fine. I might blow this, but if they put a... Okay, good. If they put a Faithless Looting on the stack, I'm so set. Okay. They saved 1. Luckily, my force is of negation, but they did successfully get 2 dredgers into the graveyard, and there was a second looting in the hand. Yep. They just had 2 of each of the important cards, so my heuristic didn't fail. Just my opponent's hand was too good. If they had 1 LED countering, it would have been right. If they had 1 looting countering, it would have been right. But at least they cast 1 Faithless Looting this turn instead of 4, which was on the table, or 3 was on the table. Okay. Cabal Therapy, targeting me. I'd be impressed if they hit, yeah, Grafdigger's Cage. That is a card they've seen, but it's not a card that I have. Polluted Delta is in. Okay, I'm going to set a stop in their draw step. That's their main phase. Stop in your draw step. So after they dredge, I get a chance to Swords to Plowshares if I want to. Poxwalker is now in the graveyard. What else is in here? Otherworldly Gaze. There's no more therapies, okay. If I'm plowing something, I want it to be Poxwalkers. Narcomoeba is getting in. Okay, end step. I'll fetch the Meticulous Archive. I don't think I need a third land. I need a Containment Priest or Grafdigger's Cage, or Cling to Dust. Force of Will is not great. I still have a stop set in their draw. They hit a Cabal Therapy. What does that do? I could kill Narcomoeba now, and then they could get a... They hit a Faithless Looting too. That sucks. Okay, I am going to Bowmaster their Narcomoeba. It's not as good as plowing it, but they don't have a bridge. They could Otherworldly Gaze in response, but they are almost out of mana. They have Lion's Eye Diamond and Basic Mountain. Whatever spell they cast is going to be their last spell, and I do have one Force of Will left. A Faithless Looting is going to get back a Poxwalker. I'm going to force Faithless Looting, and then they're going to Cabal Therapy my Swords to Plowshares off the Poxwalker, because the Poxwalker will see the therapy, and it'll come back immediately. Yeah. And I'm pretty sure they've seen the plow. That was in the opening hand that they therapied once already. Yep, Swords to Plowshares was the name. And big draws. That's not great. I'll attack with Bowmaster. And now they're slow dredging unless they stop to take a draw. Faithless Looting, 2 Cabal Therapies. And as we discussed last turn, Cabal Therapy can bring back Poxwalker. So they could therapy me for free. Take the Wrath of the Skies. Poxwalker at least comes into play tapped. They had a small amount of restraint when designing that card, but only the tiniest. Okay, Cabal Therapy waiting in the graveyard. We're looking for some sort of hate piece. That's not it. Bowmaster, get in. They hit a Narcomoeba and there's a bridge from below. That's bad. But if my opponent attacks with Poxwalkers, I'm going to trade and they'll be stuck on 1. Okay, didn't fall for it. They get 1 Zombo here. Is there a Dread Return? I don't see one. They're up to the critical 3 creatures. Narcomoeba can attack freely. If they attack with Zombie, they lose their bridge, and they can value how much they care about that. That is all their Cabal Therapies and 3 of their Faithless Lootings in exile. The last one's in the graveyard. Okay, they are going for this push. I think I will just clear the bridge. I could wait and actually trade with the Zombie next turn, but just like a Barrowgoyf stabilizes this. Ponder. Fix me, Ponder. I need you. Ponder Tamiyo. Tamiyo does put some walls up, and then Ponder can see more cards next turn. This might be wishful thinking that the game is going to go long enough for this to matter, but here's Tamiyo. I'm not going to attack. I'm happy to trade Orcish Bowmaster for Poxwalker at this point. Oh, they took a draw. Scary. Okay, block. If they have Firestorm, I'm in trouble. Okay, they did not Firestorm me. Okay, here's Ponder. I can flip Tamiyo this turn. Force of Will's on top of my deck. I don't think I actually want that, though they are out of discard. Okay, I will crack the clue first. That puts Force in my hand. Ponder into any blue card. Oh, that's even better. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Do not shuffle. Plus Tamiyo. Play Grafdigger's Cage. Did we get over the hump in time? Tamiyo takes 1. I draw Brainstorm. Plus Tamiyo. Now I have Force blue card protecting my cage. Next turn I can buy back a spell. They're still taking draws over there. I am making net progress with Tamiyo. Okay, next turn I get back a spell and Tamiyo won't die to Narcomoeba. Even better. Okay, my turn. Tamiyo's at 5. Barrowgoyf. Alright, well, now I'm just going to plus Tamiyo and put this Barrowgoyf in the way. I think this should shut the door. With Force in my hand, Tamiyo almost ready to ultimate. Okay, sweet. They have officially pumped the brakes. Force blue card in my hand. I'm going to pass with Barrowgoyf this turn. And next turn, I'll draw half my deck. And then hopefully I can figure it out from there. They went to clean up, discarded a Poxwalkers. Up to 8 cards in hand over there. Clean to dust. What's up? I would like to draw half my deck, please. I found another Barrowgoyf. So I'm going to attack with the first one. And they've had enough. Okay, that was actually sweet. A positive record after an insanely tough start to the league. This deck comported itself admirably, I think. I mean, the round 1 where my opponent cast 4 Sowing Myco Spawns in a single game against me, that felt really terrible. The lands matchup, it actually came down to threat density and sideboard plan. Like, if the format was slow enough that maybe one of the 4 Tamios in this deck was Jace the Mind Sculptor, then I think I win that lands match easily and comfortably. If I just have 1 Orcish Bowmasters in that could go a little bit wide around a double Mazavith, I think I can win that game over time. If I didn't mill over the Wandering Emperor so early, I think I could win that game. Like, a lot of things had to go that way, and then there was still a game 3 that I am pretty sure I would have won if it was played to its conclusion. So hard to be too harsh on that, even though it felt really miserable at the time. And then Reanimator, a Gruul Maverick style deck, and Dredge. Beat all of those. Well, my notes on this are the plan of putting a big Barrowgoyf into play and protecting it. I like just having 3 of these in the main, the 4th in the sideboard. This is what a lot of decks sideboard in against a lot of the metagame. Just building your main deck plan around it is pretty cool. 4 feels like too many Tamio, even though starting on her is really good, but just having like one other thing that does something in the 4th Tamio slot. I just mentioned Jace the Mind Sculptor. Maybe it's not time for him yet. Maybe his time is long past, but we have enough Bowmasters and removal that we can win a Bowmaster fight and then take over with Jace. Jace is excellent with cards like Counterspell and Drown on the Lock. That's another thing that flips Tamio. It's an alternate win con when creatures can't get through. Obviously, I'm saying a lot about Jace the Mind Sculptor right now. And if the format slows down next week, which when you're seeing this would have been last week, you'll know by now if it's time for Jace or not, but I feel like one more thing to do in the deck would be nice, but otherwise the slots are generally well reasoned, and the deck did what it was supposed to do. Niles, thank you for sharing this with us. I hope my thoughts carry you well into our new format. Everyone, thanks for watching. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, check out the Patreon, and I'll see you next time.